welcome back. Actually, it's a welcome back for me. I haven't posted in quite some time, but now we are back with Wuthering Heights 2009. Okay, I could not be more excited about this because last week, or in the last video, not last week, in the last video we watched Slumdog Millionaire for the first time, and that featured Dev Patel, who is a Skins alum. This adaptation of Wuthering Heights actually features Kaya Scodelario, who is also a Skins alum. She played Effie Stoneham, a very iconic character from the Tumblr days, and she played Nicholas Holt's sister? Yeah, Effie and Tony Stoneham, yeah. So, very, very excited about this. So this version of the movie is 2011, if I'm not mistaken. From the description, we see it's the greatest love story ever told. Acclaimed director Andrea Arnold presents an excitingly fresh take on Emily Bronte's classic novel. In addition to our Skins alum Kaya, this also features somebody named James Housen, who I'm not familiar with, but this is a Heathcliff who is not white. Okay, I believe this actor is black. Let's see how much that factors into this story, because this was sorely missing in the previous adaptations. The way people treated Heathcliff, he plays Heathcliff, by the way. The way people treated Heathcliff, it was largely due to his sort of racially ambiguous nature. And I know a lot of people sort of assume that he was black, but I think the main thing about his character is that he is visibly not white. And has dark skin. Given that that's such a major point of his character, the way people see him does affect how he behaves. So whether this adaptation does make a commentary on sort of the racial politics at the time is kind of irrelevant. I'm just glad that that the character of Heathcliff was able to be played by somebody who wasn't white, so that's really exciting. So it'll be a shame if the story doesn't talk about it, but I mean, it clearly wasn't important in the previous adaptation, so maybe it can be done without, but I do think that is a very, I do think that's a pretty major part of how the story sort of shapes itself. Without further, should I address it? I don't know. I have a different setup today, trying out some new stuff. I'm also recording it's 7 p.m. right now, is the time that I'm recording this, and you can see that it's still so bright outside. So I figured, I didn't want to wait until it was like 10 p.m. for it to be dark and start recording. So let's see how we feel about the natural light coming in. I hope that the sunset isn't too jarring throughout the video, but we'll see. So this is Wuthering Heights 2011. Oh, and I'm watching this on Tubi, my goat. Okay, already dark and dreary, so I guess we're starting in the later half of the movie. So this is clearly a grown-up Heathcliff. He's just gone into a tussle. C.E. Oh, Catherine Earnshaw. Oh, and the birds. Okay, are they gonna do a bit with the birds in this movie as well? Oh no, not self-harm. Okay, she must have just died. Catherine Heathcliff. So, you know what I liked from the book and also these adaptations is showing the carvings that Kathy made in her sort of childhood bedroom. It shows that she had sort of different possibilities in her life, and that kind of wasn't an option for Heathcliff. So just for some context, in previous, from the book, she, carved her name in different forms in the wood in her bedroom. So Catherine Earnshaw, which is her sort of like birth name, Catherine Heathcliff, and then Catherine Linton. So these are kind of three versions of her throughout her life, and she could have chosen between. Whether these were good options or not is irrelevant, but the fact that she had options is more than Heathcliff would have ever had, right? Oh my god, that shit is so dusty. And then this title card is just like the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, what is that? They lined up the H's and were like, okay, job's done. Ew. Okay, because I'm watching this during, like, daytime, while the sun is still out, there is major glare on my screen right now, so if the rest of this movie is gonna be dark as shit, that's kind of gonna be a problem for me. Oh, there's birds. There was birds carved into the wood as well. Okay, there's two people walking in a storm of all places. I also don't know how much wind is being picked up by my mic, so sorry. Okay, so this movie is starting basically from the beginning of Heathcliff's story, right? So Earnshaw has just come home from some business trip. And the kids, Hindley and Kathy, have been waiting for him to return home. Little do they know that he brought a person home as well. Now, why are they coming home during a storm? Does that matter? I don't know. So he's kind of like already preteen age. It was the Christian thing to do to bring another child home. Which, okay, I kind of don't like that they are preteen aged. I think it was like charming when they were a child. Not to say that, you know, all kids don't deserve, you know, love and a place to live and like warmth and shelter and food. That's not what I'm saying, but what I am saying is that it's kind of less believable to me as a viewer that he would bring home a random preteen child. I feel like it'd be more believable if he picked up like a random like 5-year-old off the street who literally had nothing going for them. Not that, you know, 12-year-old is much more capable than like a 5-year-old. I'm kind of not buying that he would bring home a kid this age when he already has like 2 teenagers running around his home as well. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Let's investigate.
Shame on you, Catherine Earnshaw. Go on.
Why the fuck? Did she just spit on him? What the fuck? Oh my god, sorry. I need subtitles. I did not hear what the fuck you just said. One more time? One more time? One more time?
Dyke?
Oh my god, the dog's name is Dyke. Didn't know this was queer friendly.
Shame on you.
Why did she spit on him? What a fucking bitch. Why the fuck did she spit on him? No, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Because in the book, they got along immediately. They got along immediately. Like, she didn't have any other friends. So why would she... Oh, God, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. When he brought her home, perhaps she was too young to have developed any prejudice at the time. In the book, anyway, she was probably too young to have developed any prejudice or learned racial discrimination at the time. So why is she immediately being antagonistic towards him? It would make more sense if Hindley... Not that anybody should be spitting on anybody, but it would make more sense narratively for Hindley to spit on him because he is jealous of this new kid that's been brought into their home. Ugh, God.
Do it, man.
I hate this.
Just look up fairy dog.
What is a fairy dog? Is that, like, derogatory? He called Nellie and Kathy a fairy dog. Oh, no. Look at these burn marks in his back. Oh, you're not wearing pants. Yeah, I don't know. I already don't like how this looks, right? Like, it's so gray. It's so gray. And this is supposed to be, like, the fun part of the movie, right? Where it's like, you know, they have such good memories of, like, growing up together, and that's where their care and their love for each other grows. But it looks like shit. Gonna try to not be negative, you know, it's my first video back after some time. Yeah, I think perhaps part of the issue is that maybe, okay, I think I was like projecting onto Earnshaw earlier, but I think some of the issue is that because they're not like young kids, I don't feel any draw towards them. Which I know sounds terrible, but it's like that's what was nice about the book and the previous adaptations, where it's like they started off as kids and they were sort of, Kathy and Heathcliff, they were like best friends and they would lean on each other a lot, and they grew up caring for each other. So I kind of don't like how, I feel like me as a viewer, I'm not feeling the immersion that I should in caring for these characters, because right now they're already coming across not very good, because A, why did she spit on him? B, why is he being combative during a bath? Maybe you could chalk it up, I mean, for the bath part, maybe you could chalk it up to, okay, maybe he's like self-conscious about the scars on his back. Sure, fine. I don't know, but there was no, why did she spit on him? I'm so mad about that. Like, ugh. Oh, that's so Effie. She's giving Effie. Even with the sun shining, this looks like completely like desaturated. When is this supposed to take place? Because they're all dressed kind of modern. Or I mean, not him, but what Kathy was wearing was pretty modern. Not that I'm a costume expert or a fashion history expert. Yeah, so far the immersion is not immersive. Okay, I guess this scene is to show Heathcliff that Kathy, like, cares about horses. That looks so strange. Hold on, go back. Why is it a 30-second back? Oh my god, Tubi. Why is he trotting along like this with his arms just, like, at his side? Wouldn't you naturally just want to hold on to something? He looks insane. Oh my god, this POV shot is so bad. Because it makes me think that, like, the ghost from The Grudge is about to jump out at me. Uh-oh, the wind is picking up. Is this a terrible omen? Who's to say? I think the wind is, like, a little too loud. Oh my god, that cut was so bad. Hold on. Okay, so she calls him up. Look, we're at his back. We're looking over your shoulder. She's looking up at him. He's looking up at her. He's up there. Oh god, did you see that? Oh my god. They tried to do an invisible cut there because, like, they were trying to hide the camera, or they were trying to hide in his back, right? That's why they moved forward. But that was not a seamless transition at all. That was so bad. Okay, let's keep going. You know what? Even though the wind sound effect is a little too long, I like the effect on her hair. Like, I know I was complaining earlier because that shot was bad, but I actually like the very windswept effect because her whole thing is that she is like a wild child. There's no easier way to show that than to have her hair be so unkempt. Okay, I don't know if you can pick it up in the audio, but I can clearly hear somebody singing in the background. Does Mr. Earnshaw seem like the kind of person to be singing joyfully? This kid is cute. He reminds me of, like, a young Jacob Anderson? Is that his name? Louis from Interview with the Vampire. What the hell am I looking at? What the fuck was that? Hold on. What the hell is this shot? This is like somebody's scalp? Somebody's partially shaven scalp? What the fuck? But, like, for no reason, and then we just cut to the next scene. Like, why? Okay, so we're at church.
Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you.
Oh, they're baptizing him?
Ye shall be clean.
I was gonna say, is the thing that he's afraid of water? Because he was being combative earlier during the bath. He's combative now when he's being baptized. But then it's raining pretty hard, so he's clearly not afraid of, like, water. Is he afraid of being in water? Maybe that's it? We got a bit of a Jason Voorhees situation on our hands? Girl, I don't know. Okay, so they're running away from his baptism. Wasn't it raining? How did she find that and pick it up? And it's, like, dry. Okay, it feels like we just keep cutting to different things. Completely purposelessly. Okay, so they just ran all the way back home? Okay. What will the consequences... Okay, there we go.
God forgive you both. Eh? Get to your room and shut up. I want to see you again tonight.
Okay. So Mr. Earnshaw was very upset that that both the kids, Heathcliff and Kathy, sort of walked out and escaped the baptism. Don't love that. Don't love it at all, because in the book and in the previous adaptations, the whole thing was that Mr. Earnshaw heavily favored Heathcliff. What was the point? Oh my god, girl. Okay, so is this first half of the movie just gonna be like, wow, like, Heathcliff had such a shitty life even after being adopted by Earnshaw. His life continued to suck. Okay, are we gonna finally have an interaction between Hindley and Heathcliff? Is Heathcliff gonna be like a horse tamer? A horse whisperer? Okay, so Earnshaw bought him a horse. Okay, the whole baptism scene was so purposeless. Are Heathcliff and Hindley gonna talk ever? Did Kathy not have a horse that she could bring out? Oh, okay, here's the part where Heathcliff and Hindley are gonna fight. So in the book what happens is that Heathcliff wants to trade horses because his is lame, so he has a disabled horse. He wants to trade horses with Hindley, and Hindley tells him to fuck off.
Give me a horse. Fuck off.
Yeah!
Want me to show him what you do?
How arrogant of Heathcliff to ask Hindley to trade horses. Heathcliff is using the threat of, oh, I'll tell father that you've been beating my ass, and then they get into a scuffle because Hindley doesn't want to trade.
Take my horse and you damn gypsy. I hope it breaks your neck and kicks your fucking brains out.
Yeah, even those kicks weren't very convincing. Okay, so Hindley gets disciplined by Mr. Earnshaw for fighting with Heathcliff. Which seems like decent discipline. Okay, not advocating for, like, beating your kids or anything, but what we see here is that, okay, Earnshaw is fair in that he's disciplining Hindley for fighting with Heathcliff. Fine. We haven't seen Mr. Earnshaw favor Heathcliff in any way, shape, or form. He seems to treat all the kids relatively equally, right? Because he disciplined Kathy and Heathcliff for running out on the baptism, and then he just disciplined Hindley for fighting with Heathcliff. He seems to not favor any of the kids over the other, but the whole point of Hindley's sort of downward spiral is that Mr. Earnshaw treats Heathcliff much better than he treats Hindley. Are we gonna see any of that? What the fuck is going on? This movie's... Okay, we're like 20 minutes in and like nothing of substance has happened yet. I feel like Mr. Earnshaw's kind of young. I don't know if I would believe that he has like 2 teenage kids. Okay, they're like super overdoing it with the rock focus because they keep doing it for no reason. So now what's happening? Hindley's being sent off for college. I feel like we could shave off like half an hour into this movie. So Hindley's away and the kids will now play. Is that what's going on? You know what though? I'm trying to think. Like, okay, the only instance of Hindley being mean to Heathcliff was the horse thing. Yes, there was evidence of him, beating him in the past, but the only thing that we've seen as an audience is Heathcliff asking to trade horses and Hindley rightfully saying no. I feel like that wasn't a good example to show us of Hindley being awful to Heathcliff. Girl, I don't know. Whatever. And also, too many shots of birds. Way too many shots of birds. Oh, Nellie's gonna be pissed. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it. They have like a heartbeat sound effect in the background. Are they ever gonna have conversations? Right? Because isn't like one of the good things about their relationship is that Kathy really draws out Heathcliff and that they have like real conversations. Are they ever gonna speak to each other? Okay, so Mr. Heathcliff, or Mr. Earnshaw is coughing, which means he will succumb very shortly. Oh, are they helping each other get undressed? Oh my, this is super scandalous. Okay, hold on, I didn't notice this earlier, but it looked like there were initials carved into his back. Did I see that correctly? It looks like... Yeah, it looks like SV? SV. Are they ever going to talk about it? Are they ever going to talk? Is the real question. Oh no, is this the unfortunate succumbing?
Why can't you always be such a good lass, Catherine?
Why can't you always be such a good man, Father?
I remember that scene from the book, and I thought that was quite funny. And I don't recall if it came up in the previous adaptations, but I did like that where, the one time she's behaving, Mr. Earnshaw's like, why can't you always be like this? And she's like, why can't you be a good man? And I interpreted that as being funny, right? Like just being snarky with your parent, but like joking around with them. But they're kind of playing it a little bit serious, so maybe I read it wrong or it like internalized it wrong. Because I thought he was gonna like smile there, right? Like have that be like a little jokey joke between them. But they're kind of playing it a little too serious. Not to mention, this is the scene where he's about to die, which means that the fun parts of the movie are over. Right? Because right after he dies is when Hindley returns and everything goes to shit. So there was no warmth in any scene. They're literally sitting in front of the fire right now and I'm like as cold as I've ever been. So not a good first act, I might say. So it's storming, there's some weird noise outside, and they're sending Heathcliff out to investigate. I will say that Mr. Earnshaw fell asleep and is snoring, which means that he is still very much alive. Oh, also worth mentioning that there is no Lockwood in this version. Oh, okay, he's just died and they're asking for Dr. Kenneth. I couldn't fucking tell because of how dark this shit is, but basically, Heathcliff was in like the servants' dwellings, right? So that's where Deli and Joseph are. And they sent him off to see what all the ruckus was about. And it's because Mr. Earnshaw has just died, the main part of the house, and, you know, Kathy's freaking out, and they're sending her the doctor and stuff. So maybe if I could see it, I could see that they were in different locations, and that man who was snoring earlier, that was actually Joseph. That wasn't Mr. Earnshaw. I've mentioned this in the previous adaptations, but I guess it's worth mentioning again that I actually really liked how they did Mr. Earnshaw's death scene from the book. He passes away in his sleep, and Joseph is the only one that notices right away, so he's like, so he, like, very subtly tries to send the kids away, like, okay, you know, you guys, like, it's late, go back to your rooms, so that they can, so that he can, like, handle the fact that Earnshaw has died. But yeah, in the book, Kathy realizes that, oh shit, you know, my father just died, and they obviously have, like, a big reaction to that. This was so purposeless. Oh, God, whatever. If the second act of this movie is not fun, I'm turning this shit off. I'm turning it off. I'm deleting the footage. Nah, I'm just kidding. Let's watch the whole movie. Again with the rack focus. Why? To show that, you know, they're hidden away from the house, but they're very clearly visible. The weeds are not that, well, I guess the weeds are tall, but they're not that dense. Hindley has returned, is Francis in this version.
You got someone with you?
Yeah, he's got somebody with him. I thought that was kind of cute, the way he, like, lifted her out of the carriage instead of, like, helping her step down. I think that was kind of cute.
Your choice, Nick. Work or leave.
Okay, this is the second time that they've said the N-word.
I think they're the new people.
Are these the Lintons, the new people? I thought they always lived at Thrushcross Grange. I guess not in this version. They're implants. I mean, sorry, not implants, they're transplants. There are just so many establishing shots for no reason. Like, we know where they are. They haven't left. What is she coming to tell him? Is it that Francis is...
The two of you will go to hell.
See you there, Joseph.
Oh, she just pulled him away from work for no reason? Ow. Why the fuck did she just rip his hair out? What the fuck? That was like a pretty big chunk of hair. Was it supposed to be, like, reminiscent of their, like, feathers and stuff? Okay, and now Heathcliff is getting his ass beat for not finishing his work because Kathy pulled him away. You know what? Also, I will also say that all the scenes that Heathcliff and Kathy have had together, they're a little too charged. I don't know if you are gonna be able to tell from the way I'm editing this, but it's like, they're so, I don't know how to describe it. They feel very, like, intimate, but, like, not in a good way. And it kind of feels like they're not being kids, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like what I liked about their, you know, early relationship is that they were being very sort of open with each other and being very relaxed and very comfortable with each other. But everything, and all the ways that they've, you know, been, like, touching and, like, interacting have been very grossly intimate and not cute. You know, yeah, I'm not getting the feeling of, like, sweetness from the way I think the previous versions did relatively well, where it kind of felt like tingly butterfly feelings of, you know, watching two characters, you know, sort of be kids together. They've all been, like, very weirdly charged, right? Like that first scene, or not the first scene, but the scene where they were undressing each other. Like, I feel like that could have been a very innocent moment, but they made it very, like, implicating. And then same thing here. Oh, and yeah, even before that scene when they were, like, rolling around in the mud together, like, that could have been fun as well. And I think that's the issue. This movie just, like, is not having fun. I think it's taking itself a little too seriously, forgoing any fun or sweetness or cuteness in the process. And I don't know if, like, I mean, the purpose of me watching these movies is not necessarily to compare it to the book, but yeah, I'm kind of not getting the closeness that I want from these two kids. Which is kind of a shame. Is that Hindley and Francis having sex? Why are they outside doing this? They have a whole house, or, like, they have a whole property, and they're married, so this wouldn't be scandalous to be having sex on your own property, right? So why the fuck are they outside? What the fuck was the point of that? And why was, oh god, and why did Heathcliff need to watch? Is he gonna try to have sex with Kathy right now? Is that the point of this? Okay, with the amount of times that he was hit, that kind of doesn't look that bad. Oh, she's licking it. I thought she was just kissing it. Ew. What the fuck is going on? I hate this movie. Also, Effie can't be much older than this actress. So what is the point of... God. What is going to be the purpose of the time skip? Too many shots of birds. Yet again. And the sky literally looks like it's in grayscale, by the way.
Isn't that where the new people live there?
Okay, they're gonna go spy on the Grange shortly. Oh, baby, you don't even know what's coming. The whole trajectory of your life is about to change. Okay, why couldn't the movie look like this? Why? Why? Like, look at how nice this looks. Like, okay, the grass is actually green. There's actually life. There's actually color and warmth in these shots. Why couldn't the rest of the movie look like this? God fucking damn it. It took them until nightfall to get to this fucking house. Oh my god. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the elevation, but it can't have been this far for them to run to. The logistics of the time it takes to run from point A to point B is the least of my concerns. Okay, we're about to spy on the Lintons. Let's fucking go. I like that the Linton's place is always pretty consistent. So Heathcliff was sent back home, and now this is the next day. He's bringing some kind of sheep home. Oh, is he about to put the sheep down? Okay. Okay, so they are now separated, Heathcliff and Kathy, and Hindley warned him, you know, when she's back, better not see you talking to her. You know what, as bad as this is, it's also unbelievably boring. Some of these shots are so annoying. What was the point of him, like, sitting on the hill by himself? Is it just showing that he's missing her? Okay, this is kind of sweet. He's, like, spying on the Grange and hearing her sing, which is something that she used to do before, and presumably hasn't since her father died. You know what, though? How long is she away for? Is she gonna come back and be Kaya? Oh, he's just catching glimpses of her upon her return because he's not to speak to her. She's in new gloves and new robes.
Are you laughing at me?
Didn't mean to laugh.
She just smiled, bro. Relax.
You do look dirty.
You didn't have to touch me.
Heathcliff?
I like being dirty.
But she wasn't even making fun of him. What is with his reaction? She wasn't even making fun of him. She was just making an observation because, yeah, he is doing, you know, hard, dirty work throughout the day. Obviously, he's going to be kind of gross.
Don't make you look smart if you like.
Yeah, Nellie looks quite young as well. But she also outlives them all, so I guess it makes sense for her to be relatively young at this point. So Heathcliff is now spying on Kathy from the servants' quarters. Oh, I don't like how that bird is, like, flopping around while they're defeathering it. This is actually really sweet. I don't remember if this is in the book, but this was in a couple of the previous adaptations where Nellie offers to clean up Heathcliff. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. She's, like, helping him look smacks. And also, like, what's about to happen is, like, my nightmare scenario, or, like, anybody's nightmare scenario if you're, like, young and, like, going through puberty and shit, where it's, like, if you put effort into how you look and people make fun of you. Oh, God. You know what? Also, like, the environment is so, like, wet and muddy that, I don't know if, like, you're gonna be able to pick it up from the video, but in my ear, there's constantly just, like, mud squelching noises.
Look at you, Heathcliff.
Get out! Look at him, he's all dressed up like a little circus monkey.
No!
Okay, same as before, I feel like Hindley's not putting a lot of effort into his kicks. Where's this music coming from? This might be the first time that there's been music, so it just feels so out of place.
The band's here.
The band's here, okay. So it's in-universe music, which makes sense because there hasn't been any, like, soundtrack or score so far. And I think it makes it really boring because it's making me pick up on, like, a lot of the, like, transition and, like, establishing shots, and oh my god, it is so boring. It's so boring because it's just, like, ambient noise and, like, sound effects and stuff. Okay, it's snowing. Time has passed. Seasons have passed. When do we do the time skip? Okay, again with the squelching noises. Oh yeah, she's about to pop. Okay, so there will be a Hareton in this version. Will there be a Linton Heathcliff? Okay, we just saw that she's about to pop and she just is giving birth, like going into labor in the next scene, alright. Super efficient use of time, I suppose. Is she about to deliver in the middle of this fucking field? Okay. Okay, that was less gory than I was expecting. Oh, Oh my god, how swift! So we've brought new life into the world and Francis has passed. Oh my god, there's so many shots of like insects and birds and it's like, why? Oh my god, this takes up so much of your runtime for no reason. Oh, another rabbit caught in his trap. Yeah, there's been a lot of like gratuitous animal treatment, cruel animal treatment. Well, I mean, I don't know if it is actually cruel or this is just how you hunted at the time. And also now, I don't know how people hunt animals. But it feels a little bit gratuitous in this movie. Oh my god, that kid is 7 years old. Why is he so big already?
Are you going anywhere?
It's raining.
Why are you wearing that then? Spend more time with them on me.
As if I'd noticed.
I noticed. I've not come too soon, have I?
No.
Why is Edgar angrily leaving? Oh god, what a little bitch. He like ran off because Heathcliff like brushed his shoulder on the way out. God, these men are pathetic. Well, I guess they're still boys. They're like teenagers now. These kids are pathetic. He just fell asleep in the rain. Is it too late for Heathcliff to have his, like, declaration of revenge on Hindley? Are we waiting for, like, one more moment of violence in order for Heathcliff to swear revenge? Okay, I thought those were water droplets, and I was like, why is she wet? But, like, no, those are tears. Those are some fat teardrops.
Edgar's asked me to marry him.
So Edgar's asked Kathy to marry him, and they don't know. No, I don't think either of them know that Heathcliff is here and listening. I like this. This is actually creative and interesting that we're looking at their silhouettes. So the silhouette of Kathy and Nellie with the baby.
He will never know how much I love him.
Okay, he left at a terrible time. I'm just gonna pause this really quick to talk about this. That scene sucked. That scene was terrible because all Heathcliff was supposed to hear from Kathy was her saying, I'm gonna marry Edgar and it would degrade me to marry Heathcliff. And then he was supposed to run off. But he actually overheard some pretty nice things that she was saying about him. She said that she loved him. She said that, you know, he's more myself than I am. And she said, wherever souls are made up, his and mine are the same. Which are all nice things to hear. So why the fuck did he use that moment to run off? I'm this close to turning this shit off. Jesus fucking Christ. So we're at the halfway mark of this movie. Nothing good has happened yet. Effie Stoneham has not shown up once. But the time skip is about to happen soon. I'll also note that they kind of structured this movie in halves, right? Before and after Heathcliff's disappearance. Or I say disappearance, his running away, rather. Where I think the previous movies did a pretty good job at structuring it in thirds, right? Heathcliff's arrival until Earnshaw's death, Hindley's return to Heathcliff running away, and then Heathcliff's return until the end of the movie. Yeah, and this is structured in two parts, and I think it feels a little incomplete. Again, these long-ass fucking establishing shots. Completely purposeless. Yeah, I will say there's nothing interesting about this movie. The actors are not giving what they should be giving. And I will say I think this is the worst one. There's still an hour left, so you may still be able to win points back. But this is by far the worst one. This is worse than the Ray Fiennes and Juliette Binoche version. Oh, interesting. Okay, so he's just returned and we're gonna find out everything at the same time as him. So maybe this will be interesting. And I will say that the kid actors were giving me nothing. Maybe the adult actors are even remotely better. Oh my god, that kid looks exactly like Hindley. That's so cute. Is Hindley the same actor? No. He doesn't look, unless he's like super haggard and they made him look like that on purpose. But it's like very uncanny if it's different actors. I wish they showed more of Hindley's grief after losing Frances. Because now it just looks like he's throwing up because he's sick, not because he developed an alcohol problem after losing her. And in the same breath, like having to take care of this fucking kid. His fucking kid. So is he allowed to just show up at the Grange like unannounced? Well, I guess Allowed is doing a heavy lift there. He can do whatever he wants.
Heathcliff.
Is she here?
She's the lady of the house now.
Go and tell her someone wants to see her.
We wondered what happened to you.
Nellie.
All
please.
right, all right, all right.
Yeah, I don't like how he's treating her. I guess I also didn't like how he treated her in the book, but she's the only person even remotely happy to see him right now. I'm assuming that these shots of these like very environmental shots of, you know, like insects, the birds, the foliage is intended to be immersive, but it's really not. It's really, really not. They're not doing a good job. Oh my god, there she is! Effie Stoneham! You know what, also, they don't look that much older than their kid actors. So I feel like there should have been another set of kid actors who are like actually children and not teenagers. What was that shot? That random match cut for no reason. There's... I fully thought that was Nicholas Hoult for a second. And I was like, wow, look at this little family reunion. But it's not.
I won't believe this tomorrow.
So they're adults now and still
all
only
you.
have 30
Touched you.
seconds of
Spoke
dialogue.
to you.
Did she touch him? I don't think she did.
My plan was to see your face, get revenge on Hindley, and then kill myself.
Oh, God. She's a bad actor.
Will you stay for tea, Mr. Heathcliff?
Yes, Mr. Linton. Thank you. I will.
So where will you stay?
What the fuck? Why are they having this conversation walking outside? This should have been revealed during the tea time. What the fuck was the point of him staying for tea? What the fuck did they talk about if not this information? If you had a friend visiting, wouldn't like the first question you asked, like, oh, hey, you know, like, where are you staying? How's it going? They presumably spent the day together and she's just now asking, where are you staying?
Hindley offered me a room. I'll take it.
I'll come tomorrow then.
Okay, the only thing she asked during this little walk was, where are you staying? And I'll come visit you tomorrow? This couldn't have happened during tea time. What did they talk about during tea time? I guess we'll never fucking know. God, this movie sucks. What is Heathcliff doing with this kid? Did you just kick him out of the bedroom? Oh my god, he's insane. He's insane, but I also, like, don't give a shit. The only person that I can kind of feel bad for is Edgar. And that's because we don't know anything about him. There's nothing even remotely likable about any of these other characters. So it's a new day and Hindley is coherent and Heathcliff is paying him rent to stay at the Heights for an indefinite amount of time. So Edgar made Isabella chaperone Kathy on her outing with Heathcliff. Which, like, yeah, I mean, obviously don't blame him. But she seemed more or less well-behaved at the tea party. Not that we saw any of it, but his issue in the previous adaptations is that she was elated to see him. Like, she lit up when he returned. And it was embarrassing for Edgar for his wife to be so excited to receive her old friend. We didn't see any of that, and I feel like if I hadn't read the book, I wouldn't know what the fuck was going on here.
Isabella, will you stay with the horses?
Is Isabella supposed to be able to handle 3 horses on her own? She's cute. I think she's playing it pretty well. She clearly has a crush on Heathcliff. Oh my god, this is so boring. You know what? As much as she's a bad actor, wow, she has such a face. She was like the Tumblr it girl during the Skins run. Are they ever gonna have a conversation, or is it just them saying like 2 lines and then the other person doesn't respond? Oh, poor Hareton sleeping on the floor. Did they say his name yet? I don't think so. How are they playing cards with a single candle? I guess like the fireplace is going as well, but I don't know. Rack focus for no reason. Yeah, the adult actors for Heathcliff and Kathy are not doing it for me either.
Is this wise?
Will you please let her know I'm here?
Life was just fine before you came back.
What was the point of Nellie saying that? We haven't seen any turmoil between Effie and... We haven't seen any turmoil between Kathy and Edgar because Heathcliff returned. So what was the point of Nellie saying that? That everything was fine before he came? What issues have come up because of him? We don't fucking know.
You've been gone a while.
How long has he been gone for?
You changed. We're all wondering.
There is nothing I want to remember.
Her body language is really good. Like, you can tell exactly what she's thinking. Why are they happy to see each other? Because the last time they spoke, she literally put her boot on his face. Why are they, like, coyly smiling at each other? Fuck you. Edgar is just such a nothing character. But you know what? I am looking forward to Edgar's blow up after Heathcliff and Kathy sort of like cross boundaries, because then he can say, I let him back into our lives, and because, you know, he was so dear to you, and I did this as a favor to you, and this is how you treat me. I am looking forward to that crash out.
Maybe you can persuade Heathcliff to tell us of his adventures, Catherine.
Okay, hold on. So they haven't heard any of his adventures. What was the point of that first tea party?
You've not said much, it's true.
It's gone. There's only now.
The past is gone and there's only now? What a fucking cop-out.
What news?
Kathy's news.
Nothing.
She's with
It's not
child.
important.
Okay, clearly they're not like quarreling or anything. He's like doting over her. So what did Nellie mean by everything was fine before you came? Before you returned? Girl, fuck you. Okay, and that was Heathcliff finding out via spying that she is with child. And he's out laying in some muddy fields while it rains again. Man, he is so pathetic. Okay, well, I guess it's not raining, but it's about to, clearly. He's like having a tantrum that his married friend is pregnant. Okay, I hate doing this, but I am watching the runtime because I'm just waiting for this this experience to be over. But Kathy's pregnant, and Heathcliff and Isabella still need to get married and have their kid. Otherwise, what was the point of Hareton being in this?
She's not eaten in 2 days. She's lovesick. Ah! What a tiger.
Okay, so she's sucking the blood out of the wound that Isabella just gave her. Oh, God, I didn't need to see a flashback of this. And that scene was so pathetic as well, because that was Kathy teasing Isabella about how much she like has a crush on Heathcliff. But that just came off as so mean and not like defensive in that, oh no, Heathcliff is my friend and you can't have him. Yeah, that just came off as really mean to be like a bitch instead of mean out of defensiveness, you know? And I keep hitting pause because I need to talk, but then that just extends the runtime.
My rent's paid for a year.
He paid for a year up front, and Hindley just spent it all. Don't gamble, guys.
You always want a feeling.
This is the third time this character has said the N-word. Okay, so now Heathcliff is back at the Grange, and he's spying on Isabella because he's about to make the moves on her. Not that there's any moves to really make because she's already crushing on him pretty hard. Ew, I don't like how noisy and close up this kiss is. But I guess the point is to get Kathy's attention, who's in the kitchen and looking out the window. Why did he bite her? Girl, fuck you, man. Heathcliff, you're such a weird bitch.
What are you thinking?
What's it matter to you? You've no right to be jealous. I'm not your husband.
Do you like her?
You've treated me so badly, Kathy. You think you can be nice, and everything will be okay.
What do you mean? I ain't treated you badly.
What's going on?
Nothing.
I put up with you coming here because my wife likes you. No more, please sit down.
Every scene that could even be remotely interesting, it's like they took all the sauce out of it. It's very clearly reflected in like the half saturation of the color grading throughout the whole fucking movie. This was just gonna be the least interesting version of this fucking story. That was the whole confrontation. Like, I welcomed you into my home, please leave, and that's it? Fuck you. What a terrible crier. What a terrible fight. Heathcliff literally started the fight, now he's like gasping for air. I also don't like that we haven't gotten any scenes of Kathy and Edgar like being a happy married couple, either before or after Heathcliff's return. What was the point of that rabbit shot? I guess we'll never fucking know. I know I said earlier that I was gonna try to not be so negative during this, but there isn't a single thing that I like about this. So he's been like banished from this house and is still fucking spying. Bro, take a fucking hint. So Heathcliff and Isabella have just run away together. And what, he brought her back to the Grange.
Joseph.
Or sorry, he brought her back to Wuthering Heights. I don't know if you can tell my eyes are like glazing over because I don't think I've spoken in like 10 minutes and I'm fucking sleepy. So he's married, he just brought his wife home, and now he's gonna go back to visit his ex because she's sick? And he walked right past Nellie. Why was she in the kitchen? Because she should be, like, bedridden if she's in her, like, feverish delirium. Unless that was Nellie in the kitchen? Girl, whatever. I'm not even gonna go back and check because I don't give a fuck.
Is she dead yet?
What an insane question to ask. Okay, somebody's just died. Did Kathy just die? No, she can't have. So why were all those people... Oh, I guess all those people were, like, Edgar's crew. I think they stepped out for church. And this is the one time that Heathcliff has a chance to go see her. I will forgive all of the boringness of this movie if her next scene is even remotely interesting.
You and Edgar broke my heart. You killed me. Will you be happy when I'm in the air? Will you forget me?
Talk to me.
Girl, these actors are giving nothing. So are we just gonna speed through the last, like, 15 minutes of this movie where the kids are all grown up? Does it matter? Does anyone care about the second generation? Because if not, then what was the point of casting Hareton at all? Like, Hindley could just be sad that his wife died and then not have a kid to neglect. Because I don't think there's enough time for Kathy's kid to be born and then for Heathcliff and Isabella for their kid to be born and then also watch them grow up. Like, there's just not enough time. Call back to Kathy yanking out chunks of his hair. Edgar has returned. So she didn't just die because because the kid still needs to be born, right? Presumably. You know what, I will say, like, the cinematography of these, like, establishing shots, they're really beautiful. Like, I'm not saying that they're bad. There's just no point to them. And they always, like, stack 2 or 3 or 4 back to back for no reason. Okay, did she just die? Was this just, like, her very uneventful death? Okay. So the reason he has these bruises on his head is because he was banging his head against the wall, which is the scene that we saw at the beginning. So now we've come back full circle now we've made it back to the beginning of the movie. So now all of this going forward is new footage. Having said that, completely purposeless for us to have seen him self-harming at the beginning of the movie.
She's dead, isn't she?
Yes.
Completely uneventful. Sometimes things can be funny bad, but this is boring bad. She's literally walking away and he's screaming, "Leave me alone." Remember how in, like, a previous video I complained that the actors were doing too much? We didn't know how good we had it. There's like 15 minutes left in this thing. What is the story that's being told here? How many times are you gonna kiss a dead body before it becomes weird, right? Is he gonna yank out some of her hair? Because that would be crazy, right? So no mention of the kid that Kathy was carrying. Presumably it didn't make it? Are you supposed to be able to pry coffins open with your hands? No, right? Also, he's like, most of his weight is on the lid. Please, God, let this be the end of the movie. He sees the spirit of Kathy's ghost taking him to Penistone Crag, the rocks. And then he just dies there and that's the end of the movie. Please, God, let that be true. Okay, they're gonna tussle, and I think Hindley should die here because he's, like, in a very weakened state.
Kathy would still be alive if it wasn't for you.
True. So he's following Kathy's ghost up to her room, and he is presumably gonna end the movie. You know what? We can see their breath in a lot of the shots, so I'm gonna chalk it up to the fact that it must have been too cold for them to be able to act properly. Or for them to be able to act, period. Yeah, it's giving The Grudge. It's literally giving the ghost from The Grudge. Please, God, is this the end of the movie? Oh my God, he looks like shit. But Hindley is still alive. Okay, this is like his lawyer or something, trying to square all of Hindley's debts. So Heathcliff is now the owner of the Heights. This being in, like, the last 10 minutes of the movie is so fucking pointless. Why do you just leave the dog to hang? Yeah, they're not very nice to animals in this movie. So that bird dropped a half black, half white feather, and that's supposed to represent the relationship between Heathcliff and Kathy and how they are never going to mesh, especially now that she is no longer alive. Oh my God, not a modern song. Not a modern song. I know a modern song is not playing right now. Girl, I cannot believe how boring that was. I usually applaud at the end of these things, but that does not deserve my applause. Okay. What are the things that I liked? The only thing that I liked was the scene of the reveal of Kathy telling Nellie that Edgar asked her to marry him. Okay. That one had like an iota of an idea to have them speaking with their shots on their silhouettes. I think that was kind of interesting to look at. Everything else was awful. The acting was bad. The cinematography was bad. The color grading was awful. Oh my god, that movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Okay, what I am going to talk about is going forward. This was the second last movie in the Wuthering Heights movie adaptations, which means the next adaptation will be the long-awaited, it's long-awaited for me, the 2026 version by Emerald Fennell. So that is one that I'm really looking forward to, because I know it's going to be bad, but I hope that it's interesting bad and not boring bad, because this was boring bad. This I had to sit through, and I don't know if you can tell, but I was just like constantly checking the runtime to see how much movie there was left, and there was always too much. There was too much movie left every time that I checked. So having said that, I am looking forward to the next one, because that will wrap up this series and sort of wrap up my first mini project on this channel. So I'm really, it's bittersweet, because I'm sad that it's ending, but also I'm glad that I've made it this far. Didn't think that I would continue doing this, but I'm really enjoying this process. Yeah, I have a couple of movies lined up for the next few, before and after the next Wuthering Heights. Thank you for watching. Thank you for honestly enduring this movie with me. If you're gonna skip any of them, do skip this one. I wish I could get my 2 hours and 9 minutes back. Thank you for watching. This is Rito in the outro.